Greetings, brothers and sisters in Christ. We come to the fourth Sunday of Lent. This is a Rejoice Sunday. We're continuing our journey towards Easter. And today we hear maybe the greatest story ever told, the story of the prodigal son, Luke chapter 15. So the story begins, there was a man who had two sons, and the younger of the sons said, "Father, give me your share of the estate." Now there's much happening right there. The word estate in Greek is the word ousia, which can mean inheritance, but it can also mean essence or substance. So in other words, the son is saying, I don't want a relationship with you anymore. I just want to have all the gifts and all the stuff that you give me. So our God is a father who is a generous giver of gifts. This younger son is us sometimes when we don't want the relationship with God, but we want the gifts that God gives us, or we want the good stuff of this world, if you will. And so the son then is saying, I don't want relationship with you. Now, what happens when you intentionally cut off relationship with the giver of the gift? We find that the son went to a distant country. In Greek, that means kora makra, which means like the big emptiness. So that's what happens. When you cut off relationship with the giver, the gifts all dry up. The relationship is key and important. And so the son finds himself now in a big emptiness. And in that big emptiness, a famine breaks out. Of course, because he's with a bunch of other people who have also cut off relationship with the giver. So all of the gifts are drying up. And then the son finds himself longing to feed on the pods that the pigs are eating. For Jewish people, a pig is an unclean animal. You don't touch them, you don't go near them. This son is now lower than the lowest animal. That's what happens again when the relationship dries up. So first of all, we should stop and say, how is my relationship with God? Am I receiving gratefully the gifts God gives me? And do I value the gifts more than the giver of the gifts? We should want nothing more than to be with God and to long to be with God. So the son comes to his senses, and he decides to go back to the father. And he has his act of contrition ready. He's telling the father he's sorry for all that he's done. The father sees him a long ways off. So we have a God who, when we wander away, continues to look for us. Then the father does an amazing thing. He runs out to greet the son. One commentator says, if the son came back, the whole village would be out there to make fun of the son and to derail him and deride him because he ruined his father's estate. And so there's like a gauntlet set up. And when the father runs to meet the son, he runs the gauntlet on behalf of the son. That's what our God does for us in Jesus Christ. He takes upon all the suffering of sinful world in order to restore relationship and covenant with God, the Father. Then when the father comes to the son, he takes off all of the symbols of power, his ring and his robe, puts sandals on his feet. So the father is reinstating the son to have full authority to speak on behalf of the Father. That's what God does with you and with me in our baptism and in every sacrament we celebrate. So how's your relationship with the giver of the gifts? Be with God this week. Let him gift you as much as he wants. God bless you.